Today I faced a huge loss right at the market open, but I was able to come back from that loss. And in this video, I will be showing you guys why as a day trader, it's very important to maintain your composure after facing a huge loss. Try to forget about the loss and look for the next opportunity in the stock market. Also at the end of this video, I will give you guys a few tips and tricks that personally helped me to come back from a huge loss in the stock market, because guess what? If you're a day trader, facing losses in the stock market is in the job description. My first trade on this day right off the market open was on Netflix. Netflix, if you look at the daily chart of Netflix, the higher time frames, Netflix broke this $580 level, which was a critical support zone on the daily chart. It broke that level with high volume the prior day. The following day, Netflix was gapping down and it was also downgraded by a firm. This was the news released before the market opened. And we could see the reaction of this news in the pre-market itself, because Netflix started gapping down in the pre-market. It was looking very weak. Netflix made a pre-market low of around $552 to $553 level. Now let's go to the 1 minute chart. So Netflix right off the market open, it failed the VWAP twice for the first 2 minutes. My entry was right here on this candle according to my game plan, because it was looking weak right within the first 2 minutes of market open. I entered my puts position right here, but then the next candle it made a huge move towards the upside and I lost big money on this trade. Let's now jump onto the trade recording of this trade and look at my entries and exits. Before we jump onto the recording of Netflix trade, pause this video, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification, because I'm releasing 2 to 3 new videos on day trading every single week. So here's the trade recording of my trade on Netflix. I forgot to turn on the recording right at the market open, but I did eventually after taking my position on Netflix. I entered 10 contracts. I'm trading 550 puts and my fill price was 5.30. I entered when Netflix was around $553 level on this candle on the 1 minute chart, because it failed the VWAP twice as I mentioned earlier. My stop loss on this trade is the break of high of the day, which is a bit wider stop loss, but I'm also expecting a big move towards the downside if it breaks 552. That is a pre-market low, and $550 level, that is a very critical psychological level on Netflix. Netflix made a new high of the day right here, but we saw crazy momentum towards the upside. By the time I clicked on my premiums and I placed my order to exit this position, I got a fill price of 3.37. That means I lost $2,000 on this trade right within the first 3 minutes of market open. I also get this question a lot, like trading the market open is risky or not. Yes, it's risky. You have to face your losses as well. And as a day trader, it's also very difficult to forget about the loss and then look for the next good opportunity, because this loss messes up with your head as a beginner trader. The next 2 trades I took on this day were on Amazon. That was from the daily game plan that I post every single market open day on our Discord group. If you guys want to be part of our Discord group, the link will be in the description box below. We also have a new year discount code going on, which will be linked in the description box below. The discount code will be expiring soon, so this is the perfect time to join our community, learn from me and other members in our community, because they are killing it every single market open day. Let's now take a look at the daily chart of Amazon. On the 1 day chart, Amazon was holding this trend line that it broke out of the prior day. On this day, it broke out of this trend line towards the downside with high volume. The levels I was watching on Amazon are the yesterday low, 32.75 for a break towards the downside, or if we bounce, if the market finds support, I was also liking Amazon for a break of 3300 towards the upside. Let's now take a look at my entries on exits on Amazon. My first trade on Amazon was towards the upside and the second trade was towards the downside, and that is the beauty of day trading. You can make money both ways, whether the stock goes up or whether the stock goes down. Before we look at my entries and exits on Amazon, let's first take a look at the 1 minute chart of SPY and see what was happening with the overall market. SPY was having a clean push towards the upside within the first 10-15 minutes of market open, and then we saw a sell-off. That's why I took Amazon within the first 10 minutes towards the upside within the first 15 minutes, and then I was able to grab a really good opportunity on Amazon towards the downside. But keep this in mind, because until around 9:45 AM, SPY was kind of bullish. After 9:45 AM, SPY found a direction towards the downside, because this is gonna be very important looking at my entries and exits on Amazon. My first trade on Amazon was towards towards the upside. When I saw that Amazon had a clean push towards the upside just before the break of 3300, it was pulling back to $32.80 level. I entered my calls position on the pullback on this candle with the stop loss under $32.80 level. On the next push up, I covered my whole position because the market around this time was kind of bullish. Both the Qs and SPY were pushing towards the upside, making new high of the days, but Amazon was having difficulty breaking 32.90 and holding above 32.90. Let's now take a look at the recording of this trade and my entries and exits. Here's the recording of my trade on Amazon. You guys can see Amazon rejected from 32.95. This kind of pullback, it's pretty normal before the break of 3300 because that is a good psychological level. On the pullback, when I saw 32.80 level is holding on the level 2 on the time and sales, I placed my order and I got filled 3300 calls. I am lowering my position sizing because of the loss I took right at the market open. I only took 5 contracts and my fill price was 21.00. After my entry on Amazon, I am clearly in the money. The premiums are around $22 and $23, but the only thing concerning me at this point was that market was making new high of the days. Both the Qs and SPY were making new high of the days with good volume, but Amazon was not pushing towards the upside. So that was a bit concerning to me. That's why I covered my whole position at a fill price of 22.55, overall making around $800 on this trade. Let's now take a look at my next trade on Amazon. That was towards the downside. Amazon, after the rejection from 32.95, it was kind of making a triangle right here, and the overall market was also pushing towards the upside until 9:45 like I mentioned, but Amazon was kind of weak compared to the overall market. And when I saw that Amazon is comparatively weaker compared to the market, and when SPY started pushing down around 9:45 am, I entered my puts position on Amazon around this candle when Amazon was respecting 32.80 towards the downside, with the stop loss above 32.83 and 32.84 because Amazon was making this triangle with the stop loss that if it makes a new 1 minute low, I will exit my position, and then I started taking my partials at the break towards the downside. Let's now take a look at the recording of this trade and my entries and exits. Here's a recording of my trade on Amazon. When I saw that Amazon rejected 32.80, it's making a triangle. I placed my order to get filled. I got filled 32.50 puts. I am trading the same week expiry contracts and my fill price was 15.80. Again, only trading 5 contracts. I'm not increasing my size because I'm still red for the day. After a few minutes, the market also started selling off. As I mentioned, after 9:45 am, SPY and Qs also reversed. They started selling off. That helped me with my Amazon trade as well. My entry was right here with the stop loss at a new 1 minute high, but I got a really good risk to reward on this trade. I covered 2 of my contracts at a fill price of 20.59. So the premiums moved around $500 each contract in my favor. I took another contract out right at the bottom at a fill price of 21.29. I was still holding 2 contracts, but around this time, SPY found a support around VWAP. SPY started pushing towards the upside. That's why I covered the remaining 2 contracts at a fill price of 18.39, overall making around $2,000 on this trade. But to be honest, I could have held these 2 contracts because 32.70 was acting as a resistance now. It acted as a resistance for the next few minutes and then we saw the next push towards the downside. So ideally, I should have held these 2 contracts for a break and hold of 32.70 towards the upside. But that's a good review I will note down in my trading journal. When everything was said and done, let's now take a look at my P&L. I lost $2,000 on my Netflix trade right at the market open, but I was able to recover my losses, end the day with $850 in the green. On my calls position on Amazon, I made around $773. On my puts position on Amazon, I made $2,000, which is a good enough day for me. Yes, there were quite a few opportunities in the stock market after my last trade on Amazon, but I just decided to call it a day because I was thankful. I was red, big red right off the market open. I recovered my losses. I ended the day green. So instead of pushing it, I played a bit defensive and called it a day. Now coming to the tips and tricks that you can incorporate in your trading in order to come back from a loss that you face in the stock market. The first tip is to take a few minutes off from the market. What I mean is that if you face a huge loss right at the market open, take a break for 5-10 minutes, go for a walk, or maybe do something else apart from trading, because when you come back to your trading desk, you will look at the market with a fresh new perspective and it's gonna help a lot. Yes, it sounds very stupid and very basic, but try doing it and then thank me later. The second tip is kind of a life tip that applies to trading as well. It's very important, and the tip is to stop living in the past. Live in the present, think about the future, but stop living in the past. For example, if you're a type of person person who holds grudges for what happened in the past, maybe what happened 2-3 years ago, that's not going to work out in trading, because in trading you have to forget about the past in like 2 minutes. You don't have time in the stock market. But if you're a kind of person who holds grudges, you're going to hold a grudge against the stock market because of the loss you faced. You're going to increase your position sizing on the next trade and you're going to blow up your account. That's why always try to live in the present, think about the future, think about your account, treat it like a business, think about your equity curve in the longer term, and reduce your position sizing when you face a huge loss in the stock market. Now coming to the third tip that I also mentioned in the second tip is to lower your position sizing when you are red for the day, because it's a downhill slope. If you try to increase your position sizing and make the losses back from the previous trade, it's not going to work out in the stock market, because every trade is a risk to reward game. If you increase your position sizing, you can go in a deeper hole and then you won't be able to come back from that hole, and that hole gets bigger and bigger and you just blow up your account at the end. So be mindful of that. When you face a huge loss, reduce your position sizing, look for the next good opportunity and try to execute at your best. Now the last tip that is very important, the fourth tip, is to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification and watch all my videos, because I'm posting a lot of good content on day trading and my journey as a day trader. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, make sure that you follow me there, because I post a lot of behind the scenes of a day trader, my red days, my green days on Instagram as well. The link will be in the description box below. Thank you for watching and I will see you guys in the next video.